This finger makes me think of that woman who was like, and that's what I told her. And see, she's the reason. I'm a little nervous. Good morning, my name is Josh Tyler. Welcome to my privileged opinion. Thank you for wasting your time with me on the internet today. I appreciate it. Please touch all the buttons, do all the things. It's helpful to me, and I appreciate that as well. This week, I want to talk about race because I'm a white person. That's what we do. The reason that I want to talk about race is because growing up, I never thought about race. Black people were over there, they were doing their thing. I grew up in a town of 99.9% white people. We didn't think about it. I didn't think about myself in the context of race. But as I grew and as I became more aware, I realized that I had to shift my view on race and viewing myself within the structure. Because if I want to do a better job of understanding people, I have to understand how they function, the way they think, where they think, how they think, where it came from, all that jazz. Now, usually on these types of videos, I like to lay a foundation of a definition. But for this video, I don't love the definition of race, one. And two, it doesn't really do a good job of articulating my journey in understanding race. Since my race was not integral to my development as a person, I want to kind of start with how the structure really kind of came to be. In learning history and learning a lot of history, learning American history specifically, the concept of race has never always existed. It's been fairly new, last like 800 years. Starting from the beginning, the concept of race was created by white people to quantify our perspective and subjugate accordingly during and after slavery. Since the creation of the idea of race, we have been trying to validate it endlessly. First, it started with evolution. White people were more civilized, black people were less civilized, so we were further along in the evolutionary process. And then from there, we kind of built upon it that we had civilizations, they were still hunter-gatherers, so again, we were further along in the evolutionary process because our way of living was correct. Always kind of building on the previous idea. Evolution, then civilization, and it kept going. From that, we kind of pivoted, and you could then trace the blood because blackness was found in the blood. So even if somebody didn't look black, they had blackness in them, and therefore they still weren't pure or worthy of whiteness. So wild as you build upon it. All of these ideas and countless other ideas have continued to snowball over the centuries in trying to validate race. But something that was very important for me in my journey through this was really breaking it down to the root of it, which was black and white. As black people started to get freedom and as black people started to come out of bondage and brown people got thrown into the mix, that really threw a wrench in the gears of race. Whiteness needed to grow because the perspective now was getting skewed and tainted with other, maybe white, but also not black people. And so the conflation of race and ethnicity became used to once again validate race. Now, every time that I say race isn't real, Asians are usually the first group of people that somebody chucks out to say, Asians is a race of people? Yes, but no. So, let's look at Asia, this large landmass, which includes brown people, white people, less brown people, and less white people. It is truly a cornucopia of ethnicities, all of whom are Asian. Calling someone Asian is about the equivalent of calling me American. Contrary to what people in the United States of America would like to think, this entire landmass is America. Just like Asia, it is a large ethnic region. You have all of the people that make up Central and South America who are non-English speaking, non-French speaking white people. Then you have English and French speaking people in the north. But all of these people are American, just like all of these people are Asian, because Asian is not a race. Because just like in Asia, you have Taiwan, Turkey, Iran, Russia, Georgia, the Caucasus Mountains, where Caucasians are from, is in Asia. Typically where the conversation lands at this point is, well, yeah, Josh, white people are all there because of colonization. Which, yes, is true, but no is not the reason. This is how melanin is dispersed throughout the world based on how the sun affects regions for whatever scientific reason that is. Okay, so now back to America, because that's where I live and that's really the only race relation I can speak on. At one point, English whites once regarded Italians and Greeks and anyone really on the Mediterranean as less than and non-white because I don't even, But once black people were freed, that was when whiteness needed to grow. And that was when all of the Irish and Mediterranean people who are white got enveloped into whiteness because we needed to have more power to be able to continue to subjugate black people as they were being freed from slavery, thus causing trauma. That's why whenever you call a Greek person or Italian person or even a Spanish person, all of whom are white, the usual response that you will get is, oh, no, I am insert ethnicity of origin, because race and ethnicity are mutually exclusive. You can be non-English and be white. This is a similar thing that happens with Hispanic people. They respond with whatever Latin country they come from. And it's important to know that your ethnicity does not exclude you from being enveloped into whiteness. And it's why I think it's important that we focus on the fact that race was originally created black and white. This, I feel, is one of the frustrating things for black people, because if you don't understand that your ethnicity does not exclude you from whiteness, then you also don't understand how your exclusion from the system still causes marginalized black people trauma. The best place that you can kind of see this is on the race section of any form that you really have to fill out in America. I don't know if other countries have this, but this thing is usually on all documents, applications, whatever. You always have to fill it out. But what's amazing is that most of the things on this list are actually ethnicities. And they've been lumped in with black and white to validate race. Even if you pick that you're Hispanic, it's going to ask you if you're a white Hispanic or non-white Hispanic. We are trying to validate race so hard that we've just put it everywhere. This is why I believe that still calling black Americans African American is just still another way to other them. My great-grandfather emigrated here in 1900. I am more Polish than they are African, yet nobody calls me Polish American. It's just wild to me that we still call black people African Americans. On my journey, where I have arrived is that race has no validity, and that in and of itself is the problem. So if we are trying to fix something in this country that has to do with race, race will not be the solution. So, white person, what is the solution? I don't know, but I have an idea. I really hope that I've driven this point home in this video. You are white and you are non-English. That is a real thing, and white people see that. Race is purely optical. It is literally just what white people see. If I, as a white person, say you're white, you are white. I don't care what your ethnicity is. Like, it's just white people's gays. Not gays, like gays. That was like a really good stream of consciousness.